Haldemir is going to make the call. Wow, Remco, look at this. Ace 6-6. It's good to be the main event champ, sorry. Flopping quads.
400.
Bet 400.
The most possible value here.
I mean, I think you just have to call. I mean, he's
Call for.
doing all the betting for you. He's sizing it pretty large, so you can just call here.
Turn card, 10 of hearts.
700.
Bet 7.
Wow, the Corolla doesn't hold back, continues firing right away.
I'm sure everything going on underneath is jumping for joy right now.
Haldemir again with the call here. Only 1.1 million left behind. Let's see if Al's going to fire it all in there on the river.
Checked it.
Al does check on the river. So he does move all in.
All but 5K.
Al calls immediately.
Not an all.
Haldemir shows quads.
Wow.
Wow, aces for Zarko.
Oh, hello.
I spoke too soon about wanting action. Of course, you want no action whatsoever from pocket aces if you have jacks. Harry at risk here. Zarko doesn't need the money, but would love to win this hand.
Zarko's got his phone out, taking a photo.
Javier Zarko, pocket aces. Is he gonna rake in some more chips? Here comes the flop. Oh my God, ace in the window.
King.
King or 10, yeah.
Harry rooting for running cards here. Turn card.
Wow.
Wow. Quads.
Quad aces
Good game.
for the man from Spain, Javier Zarco.
Look at that. Getting it for the gram. Javier Zarco knocking out Perry from this event in 19th place.
Yeah. Pot control, though. Discipline out of Simon. That's a good check back. Oh. Oh. Oh, ho, ho. Now, Simon does go from 7% to 25%. He'll win this pot 1 in 4 times. And it's dangerous having bottom set here for Pro Check. The worst full house you can make. Well, you realize that if your opponent does have a king, even if you're ahead right now, your opponent likely has, you know, a ton of outs. Anytime you get called here, you start to wonder, okay, am I up against King X, possibly even King's full already? And you go into defensive mode on pretty much 100% of rivers, with the exception of the last 5 in the deck. Simon, by the way, can win this with a king, a queen, a 10, or a 6. So what looked like a lock on the flop is, wow. Oh. Well, there's a way for your set of 5s to be shriveled up to nothing. Just running kings. Keep in mind, I believe he was 7% on the flop. Simon probably thinking, why did I do that pot control thing on the flop? Pro Check has a weird one too. Nut flush, no longer something to think about. It's the 5s in his hand that makes a boat. I mean, yeah. I don't really suspect that he would consider calling, right? What does our opponent have that he call on the turn, and is that he's betting this river? Yeah, Simon raised pre. I mean, Simon's got all the pairs in his range, right? He does have a king occasionally, but you can't beat any pair. And never betting a smaller flush. That's enough to go to showdown, and he just lays out the pot hammer. I'd be surprised if Pro Check took more than a second or two to fold. And look, he's already put it in the muck. He knows. Bottom left corner of your screen. The cards at the bottom are the ones that are hidden. The ones on top are the ones that we can see and the players can see as well.
Yes, 255,000.
Call.
Yeah, Brad's hand here, the 6s with a 5. This is a hand that's going to benefit a lot from getting heads up. Unfortunately, he ran into Gordo's split jacks here, which he's never going to be folding. Especially with the fact that Klassen doesn't have money behind and he won't have to put in additional bets.
Yeah, I can move.
Brad Rubin, by the way, on the left side, just caught a 6. So now with trip 6s, Rubin's a 4-time bracelet winner.
has a whole family, as an army watching him at home. His girlfriend, Sunny, his parents, his 2 brothers. They're all cheering him on.
So both of these guys have hands that are kind of disguised. Brad's much more disguised than Gordo's. Making trip 6s with the buried 6s.
Bet.
More often than not, Ruben's going to have a low draw here, 4 to a low, but in this case, he has trips.
2 bets.
Now Gordo's got to be pretty happy that he's got the 7 blockers at least for Ruben, right?
That's going to reduce the chances of Brad having 7-8, which would be a hand that would likely raise here. And in fact, it's incredibly unusual to find a raise in this particular spot. I suspect that Gordo's probably going to sniff out that he's in rough shape. I think I would put Brad on trip 6s, rolled 5s, which would be 3 5s. Buried aces would be a possibility. But really, he's got a narrow range of hands after he can raise Gordo's lead on 5th.
So Gordo with jacks and 7s, Ruben with trip 6s, and Clausen with 4 to a low. But the problem is 3 of the 6s are dead, 2 of the 7s are dead.
160 to call, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Call.
Stud 8, just a fantastic game.
There are 6s new.
Wait, does he have quads?
There are 9s
He
new,
appears to have all of the 6s.
For those of you who are new to Stud 8 or better, or any poker variant, quads are rare. Very rare.
It's hard to come up with a hand that Gordo is actually faring well against. It's hard when these pots get super bloated, but I think he's got to have trouble coming up with too many hands.
I mean, even if Ruben doesn't have trip 6s or rolled up 5s, he could even have like aces in the hole or something, right?
Exactly. I think the worst hand he can have here is aces up.
Yeah, aces and 6s.
And Gordo's in rough shape against that.
Clausen, by the way, did not improve. And Christopher Clausen is going to get eliminated here. Lost in all of this. Quads, Gordo trying to figure out where he's at.
That's kind of a maneuver that's used sometimes.
And he's going to pay him off, though.
All hands.
Quads.
And we're back in the land of Josh Payne, but he has lost his chip lead, going from 71 to 57 million. And Maceras now is the chip leader among the final 27.
Hutchinson has quads here. Oh, bury the lead.
Hutchinson from Scotland, a poker pro, 36 years old. Decent live earnings with this payout, likely payout, whatever it will be. Minimum on up. He'll almost hit the 1 million mark at least. There he is.
And he is among the short stacks here in the land of giants. A lot of big stacks here. Hutchinson about to get a bit healthier here, flopping quads.
Flopping quads?
How does it feel to have quads when you're in a multi-way pot and you've got somebody else doing the betting for you?
Okay, let's see.
It's good so far. You know,
So far, so good.
look perplexed, look a little concerned.
Is there somebody getting knocked out? There's somebody getting knocked out over there?
Yeah.
I
Next level.
I'm not sure.
Maybe it's too obvious. You think it's too obvious?
I don't think it's too obvious, but
Toby did it.
It definitely isn't Pacino-like.
Think. Make the call.
So Hutchinson has 11 million behind, and not sure he wants to shove it now.
Oh no.
He just wants to kind of milk it for the moment. He's got one more street to go.
Yeah, still has Vampin behind him to act, who has the same hand as Aguilera.
Hey, 2.2 million for one queen 10. Oh, not worth 2.2 million for that queen 10. So Aguilera drawn dead.
It's not taking that one. These are decisions.
Will Hutchinson show? I'm not putting money on it, but I'm going to say no.
I think he might show regardless, depending on what stacks.
Of course, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, depending on what sizing he comes with, and depends on if Aguilera decides to check here or bet. Yeah, I think that it is wise for Queen 10 to slow down. Really just a bluff catcher.
How much value can he get?
I don't know if he could get all of it, you know, just about pot size. You know, so don't think that if he goes the full 9.08 million, he's going to get a call. Might he choose a smaller sizing? I think he expects that a lot of other really strong hands would just bet the river. So knows that Aguilera probably has one of these middling strength holdings. And if you really want to keep a 10 in there, I don't think you're going to be able to do it for pot. There are some draws that missed, of course, naturally. The straight draw from the flop, backdoor flush draw. But still, Hutchison not sure that he could get a full stack. So gonna try.
Aguilera with top pair with 2 8s on board.
Yeah, gonna try for half stack.
It was a little heftier than I would have thought, but he does get the call. 1, 2, 3, 4 8s. That wins. He is thrilled.
He's looking to find his one-man rail.
Right?
Can't blame Aguilera for the call there. Doesn't block any clubs, doesn't block Jack 9 or
It was a long.
the other straight possibilities. So
It's the first time we've seen Dean. That's quite an introduction to the stream, isn't it?
I didn't know that.
Nines from Mr. Bogo.
But we're in trouble. Mr. Bogo also in trouble here, and is he flatting? He is. Defending from the big.
Let's see if Kilpatrick can thwart these other 3 hands. No, just over a flip for him 4 ways.
Oh my God.
That is one of the most vicious things I've seen in a while. I mean,
Ace is full against quads, Nick.
obviously he's very short stacked, so it's not quite as violent if they were both very deep, but what an unbelievable flop, Ollie.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for quads.
Oh, note it's wisdom, seeing where he's at with the 5-5.
When you're this strong. Let's see if Mr. Bogo knows how to slow play, and the answer, of course, is yes. Now, when you're in a 3-way affair in this sort of pot, Nick.
One of the prevailing ideas, not to cut you off to the slow play, is to allow a hand like Wisdom's to spike the 5.
Sure.
Sometimes these low pairs fire, or something like 10 jack of clubs might pick up outs, keep firing. It's just such a classic slow play. See if you can hit the ace one time. I mean, has it been accounted for? I don't remember seeing it pre.
Didn't see it pre-flop. Don't see it on the turn either, as 5% dips to a little north of 2%. 1 out once for Kilpatrick. Better than drawing dead, but the pulse is oh so faint for the aces full, which are covered by Bogo. A couple of checks in front of Wisdom once more. I think he knows that the jig is up. And certainly the check back is understandable as he took a stab. Now the river of no consequence whatsoever. And Bogo gonna come out swinging, and there's the jam music to Mr. Bogo's ears as the 5 promptly find the muck and the snap call. Look at this.
Oh. Man, aces. Oh, wow. Oh, Lord.
Ace.
Yeah.
None of them are margin.
Unbelievable.
Well, it's not going to be the last gentleman who meets his maker in the World Series of Poker main event, courtesy of Pocket Aces.